students, I'm here with another video from the chapter of class 7th NCERT book, that is chapter number 16, Water, a Precious Resource. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now what all things we have discussed in this chapter. So we started this chapter by the word called resource, and I have given you the definition or the concept that resource is something which is going to satisfy the human needs, human wants. Okay. Now we have to see that if the resource is being obtained from the nature, it is said to be as natural resource. Okay. So there are so many natural resources in from this amongst that water is also a resource, but that too it is said to be as a precious resource. Although all the natural resources are the precious one, but we need to discuss about the water, which is said to be as the most precious resource because we are not able to live without water. So it is one of the basic requirement for the living organisms, whether it is a plant, animal, insect, bird, any or any other organism. Fine. If we talk about the living life of the organism, it means that they require food, they require water, they require the different things to live. Okay. Now here what happens, we have to discuss about the water and how it is a precious resource. So some of the points we have already discussed, like we have seen that how much total amount of water is present on the earth's surface. It is about 71%, and then we have done one activity also where we saw that from this 71% of water, there is only 0.006% of water is available as the fresh water, and that we are using it for the domestic purpose. Okay. Those the water which is present in a very small amount is present in the form of either in the form of groundwater or in the form of the river water. Okay. Or some other freshwater resources are there, but still we are always and mostly we are dependent upon the groundwater for our basic requirements. Okay. So if we see this groundwater, what is the different terms which was related with groundwater? So we have studied about the two terms. First one was, we have studied three terms rather. First was the water table, which means that the level at which the water table water underground water starts. Okay. Now next, what is it? Just below this water table, the upper surface of the water, this is from the layers of the soil we get water, and that is said to be as water table. The first layer which we get underground, that is said to be as the water table. Okay. Now below that water table, how much amount of water is present, that is said to be as aquifer. Now next thing we have seen about recharging the groundwater, and recharging of groundwater is done by the process called infiltration. Now what was that infiltration? Infiltration means it is the seepage of the rainwater or the water from the rivers, ponds, lakes, oceans, seas inside the earth's surface. From the soil surface, the water is being absorbed. Now once this is being absorbed, then what happens? This is going to add up, or it is going to recharge the groundwater. Okay. The next thing what we discussed was in the last class, it was the different ways by which the groundwater is getting depleted. Depleted means it is getting decreased. So how it is getting depleted? There are many reasons in which from which we have discussed two reasons. First was the increasing population. Now why this groundwater is being decreased? We have seen so many reasons. First was this increased population, and it is very simple, it is very clear that whenever the number of people are increasing, okay, then what happens? If number of people is in if the number of people are increasing, then what happens? They require food, they require a house to live, they require roads, they require offices, schools. Okay. So many things they require for their living. Okay. Now, and each and every work whichever I have just now given you the list, in that list, what is the main basic requirement is the water. Now if water is present, if water is there, then only all these things are possible. Okay. Now once this all these things are possible, then only what happens, it is dependent upon, we are always for the requirement of water, we are dependent upon the groundwater. Now we are using groundwater, we are exhausting it. Once it is being exhausted, it cannot be replenished in a very small, in a very easy way, or in a very small stretch of time. So it requires, we require to recharge this groundwater from time to time. Whenever the rainfall happens, allow the water to infiltrate inside. So by the increasing population, the water is getting completely exhausted. After that, we discussed about the increasing industries. Okay, now if we talk about the increasing industries, it means that whenever the population is increasing, then the I mean, the industries, the factories, all these also will increase. Okay, that is a very basic connection between the people. They, if they are living, they need to they live. I mean, they require to arrange for their livelihood. For that, they will work in the industries. And whether it is a small industry or a big industry, each and every industry has a requirement of water, and which is and those in all these industries are dependent completely on which water? They're completely dependent upon the groundwater. Okay, they are completely dependent upon groundwater. Fine. So these industries, they are dependent upon groundwater. So if we talk about the textile industry or the clothes industry, where the clothes are being made, it is said to be as textile industries. So they require water, they require groundwater. Okay, next thing, if it is the leather industry, then also it requires groundwater. Fine. If it is a small industry, like for example spices, where the spices are being made, okay, or if any plastic articles are being made, any decorative items are being made, for whatever the articles, whatever the things are being prepared in the industries, they all require water directly or indirectly. Here in these 2 3 industries, they require water directly. Okay, because the dyeing of the clothes, the dyeing of the leather, tanning, all these require a large number of water, large quantity of, not the number, the quantity of water. It requires large volume of water. Why? Because, and from where is this water coming? This is coming from the underground. Okay, when roads are being constructed, but okay, then also they require water. Whenever the construction work is going on, then also they require water. So if the things are being made, like cement industry is there or any concrete industry is there, each and every thing requires water in the large volume, and this amount we are always dependent only upon one thing, that is the groundwater. Okay, now when we are dependent, when these all these industries, they require water. If some industries are there in which water is not directly used and it is used indirectly, for cleaning purpose we require water, isn't it? For cleaning purpose we require water. Fine. So this is how the increasing population, also increasing industries also is going to deplete this groundwater. This depletion of groundwater is happening. Okay, because of these two reasons, we have studied about industrial reasons and the increasing population, depletion of groundwater is happening. Now we move on to the third reason. What is it? The third reason which is given over here is agricultural activities. Now what is it? Agricultural activities. Okay, so these agricultural activities are the things, they are how is this responsible for the depletion of groundwater? Now I think the idea might be a little bit clear to you all. If we talk about the word agriculture, okay, which is said to be as kheti, so for doing this agricultural practices, for doing agricultural activities, the directly it is connected with water. How it is directly connected with water? We are sowing seeds. If we are sowing seeds, we need to irrigate it. Okay, we require irrigation methods. We will do irrigation. We have to do irrigation, and this irrigation is directly related with water. And from where is this water coming? We are not going to river and then taking out water from there. We are simply dependent upon the groundwater. And it is not a very small place that you are just having your kitchen garden or something, where you are using a small one bucket of water and you can irrigate the complete field. It's not like that. Fields are the crops require, they are grown at a larger area. So if the area is big, then they all require a large amount of water, children. And from where is this water coming? This water is coming from the underground water, and this is known as the groundwater. So this irrigation methods, they require water from the ground, and that is why it is another reason for the decrease of the groundwater. As in summers, you can see that there is so much shortage of water, there is so scarcity of water, as evaporation rate is very higher, the transpiration rate is very higher, and to compensate this needs, all these the plants are going, they require large amount of water. And if large amount of water is required, it means that we are going to take out the more and more amount of groundwater from the ground, and then what would happen, it is going to deplete, the level of the water table will go down in the summer season mostly. So this agricultural needs is also again an example. It is again a big reason for the depletion of groundwater, children. Okay, a majority of farmer in India, they depend upon rains for irrigation. Why? Because there is very less amount of groundwater for their crops. Irrigation systems such as canal are there only at few places. Even these systems may suffer a lack of water due to very less rainfall or the scanty rainfall. Okay, then what happens? Therefore, the farmer they have to use groundwater for irrigation. Population pressure on agriculture is increasing day by day, because of which the groundwater is getting depleted, and thus the water table is getting depleted. Okay, now we have only talked about, just now we talked about the first factor, that was the first reason for the decrease in the groundwater was the increasing population. If population is increased, then what happens, they require food to eat, and this food is being, where it is being cultivated, it is being cultivated by the agricultural practices in the fields, in the form of crops. Once these crops are being produced, they require irrigation, they require water for their survival. For now this water is being brought up from the groundwater, and the farmers are mainly, they're dependent upon rain, but still rains are not going to happen in each and every all the year round. Okay, it is taking place in the particular month. So after that what happens, but we require food complete year, we require food, we require crops, we require grain for the complete year. But how is this possible? It is possible only because of the irrigation methods. Okay, so this irrigation method, irrigation means it is related directly with the water, and that to groundwater, because rains are not properly taking place in India, or even in many places, even all the places of the world, they don't receive rainfall all the year round. Okay, so we need to irrigate our fields with the help of water, and that because of, and that too we are dependent completely upon the groundwater, children. Okay, so this is the main reason, these are the main reasons for the agriculture, these are the main reasons for the depletion of groundwater. Now the next reason could be the less rainfall. Okay, fine. Then next reason, we were discussing about deforestation. Now, how is this deforestation involved in the depletion of groundwater, children? See, deforestation means DE word here. DE means delete. Delete means to cut, to just remove. What is being removed here? Forest is being removed here. And TION means it is a process. So the process by which all the trees, or the maximum number of trees, are being cut down from the earth's surface, this is said to be as a deforestation. Okay, so deforestation require, because of deforestation what happens, the transpiration rate will be lower, and transpiration is lower means this is going to affect water cycle somewhere. If less transpiration is there, it means the cloud formation will also be, it is also going to be affected. Once the cloud formation is being affected, it means that the if the cloud formation is affected, it means condensation is happening, and condensation is also being present, and this condensation is going to be lesser. And once condensation is lesser, it means precipitation is lesser. Precipitation ultimately means it is the rainfall. So rainfall, the amount of rainfall is getting decreased. If rainfall is getting decreased, infiltration is going to get decreased. If infiltration is less, It is going to decrease or deplete ultimately what? The groundwater. Water table would be decreased, and then it is going to give rise to a big problem of this depletion of groundwater. Okay. So this deforestation leads to lesser rainfall. And this lesser rainfall leads to lesser infiltration, and then less infiltration, less percolation rate would be there. So there would be lesser amount of the water present, which will go down from the earth's surface inside, and it is not going to recharge the groundwater. And if groundwater is not recharged, it means water table would go down, and then it is not going to be a proper, it would be a problem, and this decreases ultimately the groundwater. Now we'll discuss about the distribution of water, which is given here as a next topic. So I move on to the next topic, that is distribution of water. This is distribution of water. What do you mean by distribution of water, children? The distribution of water over the globe is quite uneven. Okay. Distribution means it is spread. Okay, it is going to be spreaded on the earth's surface. We are talking about the globe. On the globe also we could see that somewhere the seas are there, somewhere oceans are there, only rivers are there. Okay, so at some places there is no river. Okay, so what happens here? The problem arises that it is very uneven. Okay, so uneven means it is not even, it is not equally distributed all over the world, all over the globe, all over the earth when we look onto the globe. Fine. And this is due to the various factors. Some of the places receives good amount of rainfall. So why this is uneven? Some places they receive good amount, they receive good amount of rainfall, whereas other places receives less amount of rainfall. Okay, they receive less amount of rainfall. Now, why this is happening? Let us find out. Let us understand and why this is happening. At some places it receives a good amount of rainfall and are water rich. They are water rich. So they become water rich if they are receiving good amount of rainfall. Then next is it, and the other, on the other hand, there are deserts which receive scanty or little rainfall. The next word, a new word for the less amount of rainfall, is scanty. Okay, it receives very less amount of rainfall or the scanty rainfall. This is which leads to the desert formation, and this condition takes place in desert region. Fine, so this takes place in the desert region where the water is lesser in number. Here the desert conditions are being formed. Fine. Now what happens? In India is a vast country and rainfall is not the same everywhere. Some regions have excessive rainfall while others have very little rainfall. Excessive rainfall, again there would be a problem. If excessive rainfall is there, then also it is a problem. If lesser rainfall is there, if scanty rainfall is there, again it is a problem. Okay, India is a vast country where each and every place, each and every state is not receiving the equal amount of rainfall. Why? We could you all have studied, you might have studied in your SST. Okay, you are in a social science, you might have studied the pattern of rainfall in India or in the world. Fine. Now, what happens in India? There could be such very several factors where sometimes nowadays also you could see that in the Mumbai region or in the Assam region, what has happened? Flood has arrived because of the excessive rainfall. Again, this is a problematic situation. And if there is lesser rainfall, again it is a problematic situation. Okay. So what happens if excessive rainfall is there? Then it brings flood, it causes flood, whereas in the absence of rainfall that results in drought. Okay, it results in drought situation. So if what is uneven, I said why this is uneven? This is because it receives excessive rainfall. It receives excessive rainfall or scanty rainfall, less rainfall, more than means normal condition, it is decreased than the normal condition. So scanty rain also happens. And if there is excessive rainfall, this leads to, or this cause flood. And here in the scanty rainfall causes drought. The drought means sukha. Okay, it causes drought. Where there is no rainfall, it means it is going to cause drought, which leads to famine. Okay, which leads to the different problems in the world. Okay, now therefore some regions in our country may receive flood, whereas others may suffer from drought from say, at the same time. Okay, so if floods are there, then again it is a problem. All the crops, animals, livestock, even human are there, people are going to die. They are badly affected. And if even the life is affected very much. Living people, I mean living organisms are affected, as well as those who are going to survive in this flood, their life is going to be affected. Okay, so there is a very big problem. Now given here is a rainfall map in India, where it is given in your book as figure number 16.8. You can see there the average, it gives the average annual rainfall in the different regions of your country. Okay, then you have, what you have to do, locate on the map the place you live in. Are you blessed with sufficient rainfall? Is there sufficient water available in the area throughout your year? So these are some questions which are to be answered by seeing this map. You could see, where do we live? We live in Uttar Pradesh. Then where is this Uttar Pradesh falling in this region? So if different colors are being used over here. So dark blue means above 400 ml of rainfall is centimeters, not in milliliters. Millimeters, it is in centimeters. Okay. Now this is taking place above 400 centimeters of rainfall all the year round. Okay, next is this blue color, in which Uttar Pradesh is coming. Here 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall and 60 to 100 centimeters of rainfall, both are coming. It means that the rainfall is happening, but it is not very much. It is in a good amount, but not in a very good amount. So we, at least we are not, I mean we are blessed with the rainfall. Fine, sufficient rainfall is there. But if we are going to use this rainwater properly in recharging, properly in infiltration method, by doing different harvesting methods, then only we could be flourished. Okay, we could have the good amount of crops, and there would be no problem of this depletion of groundwater. Okay, so we are just going to found we have found that this uneven pattern is because of various factors. There would be maximum rainfall, there could be minimum rainfall, which leads to the drought condition. If there is no rainfall, then if it is an excessive rainfall, it may cause flood. Okay, scanty or no rainfall, I must say. Yeah, scanty or no rainfall, both the conditions they cause drought. And if drought is going to persist for a long time, again it is going to cause the famine. Okay. And then what happens? Now, how is this water shortage needs to be managed? So, is there sufficient water available in the year round in your particular place where you are living? It might be possible that we are living in an area where there is sufficient rainfall, yet there is a shortage of water. Fine, even this picture which is given in your book is showing you that in the particular place we are having the good amount of water, but still people are not receiving the equal amount of water in their homes. Okay, why this is happening? There is uneven distribution of water because they are wasting, they are misusing, they are mismanaged, the water is being mismanaged. Now here, can you attribute to this mismanagement of water resources? I mean, are we the one of the reason for doing this mismanagement, with this mismanagement, I mean? So if we are wasting the water, and if it is being wasted at your home, it means yes, we are contributing to the factor, not, we are contributing to the factor of the depletion of groundwater. Okay, we are not helping in the recharging of the groundwater, but we are actually depleting this groundwater. So how to stop this condition, how to manage this depletion of groundwater. We can manage this depletion of groundwater by the process called water management. Okay, we can do the management of water. We can manage water. We can do water management. Now, how is this water management being done? What do you mean by the word management? Management means to do the way in a system, I mean, do the work in a systematic way. Okay, it has to be managed. It has to be done in a systematic way. Okay, how it has to be done in a systematic way? Why the word, why we need to manage this water? Because we are misusing water. Okay, once we are misusing this water, as it is a precious resource, we all know that each and every living organism, it requires water. Then if we are not using it properly, it means we are wasting it. And to stop this wastage, we require to manage this. That is why the concept of water management has arrived. So for managing water, it means that we need to stop the misuse of this water. We are going to use this, and we are going to recycle the water, and then again we are going to use it, and or we are going to decrease the depletion of this groundwater. Once the infiltration rate has increased, the depletion has decreased, it means that we have managed the water resources, and that would be again a very fruitful thing for each and every organism. Okay, because it is, after all, it is a very valuable resource. Okay, we cannot think of living the life without water. So what is this water management? We have read in class 6 that many places a regular water supply is there, and if it is being provided with a well planned pipe system, when the civic authorities supply water, when the civic authorities supply water through the pipes, not all of it may reach the destination. Why? See, the civic amenities are there, civic supply of water system is there. I mean, if you say, if you remember the name, it was given as water, I mean, municipality system is there. Okay, so where what happens, water is going to come from Jal Nigam or Nagar Nigam. Okay, so that Jal Nigam is a place from where the water is going to come to your home. We have already studied all these things in class 6, where this water supply system we have done in a very detailed way. Now here it is said that how this mismanagement occurs. Then only we are planning to manage. Okay, now where are the points where the mismanagement is occurring? Suppose that water is coming properly to your home. Now at homes people are going to misuse. They are going to leave the taps open, leaky taps are there. Then they are going to use excess of water for one particular work. Okay, so we all need to check all these things. Next thing, the water is not only at all coming from the supply system to our homes. Why this is happening? In the midway, or when the water is coming arriving from that place, from that Jal Nigam, it is not reaching properly through the pipeline system, as it could be damaged at several places. Okay, that would be leaky pipes, because of which it is not going to come properly to our homes. You might have seen that water supply pipes are leaking. Okay, and lots of water is gushing out of the pipes. It is going to come out very forcefully from the pipes. Okay, sometimes pipes are properly broken, I must say. They're not properly leaking, they're properly broken in the two parts, and the water is coming out like a fountain. It is gushing out, it is rushing out from there. Okay, it is coming out in a very forceful manner, in a very large, in a very thick stream of water is coming out from the pipe. Okay, so that has to be checked, and that is the responsibility of these management water management system. They should all check all these problems. So it is the responsibility of the civic authorities to prevent such wastage of precious water. Mismanagement or the wastage may take place at the level of individuals also. Okay, as I told you initially in the beginning, we have said that, we have seen initially that in our homes also we are doing mismanagement. How? We are wasting the water simply. If we require one bucket of water, the next one bucket of water is being wasted like that only. Okay, for taking bath, one bucket of water is enough, but people are just opening the taps, and then it is running out. Or if you are brushing the teeth, you are switching on your tap, turn on that tap of your basin, and then what happens? It is rushing, water is coming out and water is wasted in the drain, and you just keep on brushing the teeth. Fine. So that is a very wrong practice. You all should stop doing that. Till the time you are brushing your teeth, you should switch off the tap. I mean, switch off means you should turn off the tap. Okay. Now, the mismanagement of the wastage may take place at individual level, and that is the main problem. Even the civic authorities, they are very much alert about all these things, but still the people are not very much alert because they are wasting water at their homes. So we all should save water, and I will tell you how this mismanagement is occurring in a more. I mean, we'll discuss some more topics regarding this mismanagement, and then we'll discuss how to manage all these things in the next class, children. So in today's class, we have seen about how is this groundwater getting depleted, and next how to recharge this groundwater. We have seen the distribution, uneven distribution of water at some places, and we will see how to manage this uneven distribution of water pattern, and how to stop, minimize the wastage of water, and to maximize the utilization of this water by the process of this water management. So that's all for today's video. I will meet you all with some more topics to be discussed on the same, this mismanagement and the management of water, and how to stop all the problems which is being created because of this mismanagement of water or wastage of water. Okay, so in the next class. So children, that's all for today. I will meet you all in the next class with the next topics to be discussed.